Hello everyone, Skids here and welcome to episode 21 of Fall New Vegas Mods Weekly. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching. First mod I have for you is called Collision Mesh Overhaul by Kiho666. This mod, as you can guess, fixes the collision mesh in Fallout. Now first let me tell you what is collision mesh. The collision mesh basically stops items from clipping into each other, and you can think of it as sort of protection for items. Now since Fallout is a little bit older, this protection is way too big on some of the items and some of the things in the world. So for example, whenever you try to put something on a couch, it would just slide down on the ground, or when you try to shoot through fences, the bullets wouldn't go through because the collision mesh was just too big and it covered the whole fence, and the places between each plank were also included in collision mesh, and that is not how it should happen in real life. So Martha decided to change that. So now let's get over all the changes Martha created. First, let's take a look at already mentioned chairs and couches. As you can see in vanilla game, whenever I try to put down book or any other item on the couch, the book will just slide down because the collision mesh has a form of triangle, and that is certainly not how this works in real life. So Matter decided to change that, and now you can just simply put anything on the couch without it sliding down because of the stupid collision mesh. And I don't know, we can just take screenshots or just stack up items on the couches or on the chairs. Second huge change he made is to the fences that I already mentioned as well. As you can see in the vanilla game, whenever you try to shoot through the fence, the bullets will just stop right at the fence, even if you shoot in the middle of it. I mean in the between the planks, it will just stop on it, the collision mesh, because it is just so big and made wrong, because you know Fallout is a little bit older game and it was also made for consoles of old generation, so they couldn't create such a complicated mesh, and some mods fixed that as well. So now for example, if enemy is trying to hide behind any wooden fence, you can just shoot him through it, or if you just want to have fun, you can move dead bodies or items through the planks and I don't know, just generally have fun. But I think this is very useful, for example in beginning Good Spring Firefight quest, where enemies hide behind planks and you just couldn't shoot them because the collision mesh stopped the bullets from going through, but now they can finally go through, and this also applies to all the other fences in the game, so I think this can be really useful, especially in battles. The third huge change Matter made is the change to barrels, because as you can see right now, whenever I try to put something in a barrel, it will just stay on top of it, like if it was a barrel that did not have the top cut from it. And the items just stay on it, which just looks extremely unrealistic and weird, because you know that's just weird. And so Matter also changed that, and now you can drop some things in the barrels. You know, you can just put some, I don't know, I put a lot of bottles in there, and then you can just have fun with them. You can shake them, I don't know, put them out of there, and you know, just have fun with the barrels, because now you can finally put items in it. This also applies to the burning barrels. You can put bodies in there, just anything you want. The same thing like for barrels also applies to tires, so we can now put stuff in it. And the same thing that happened to fences is also applied to Good Springs water tower, so we can now shoot through it and you know just flank your enemies, especially in that already mentioned first bite of Good Springs. The Matter also fixed collision meshes for small items like ashtrays, body parts, bobby pins, garden gnomes, billiard balls and so on, so you can just go ahead and have fun with them, just place them whenever you want and do stuff like that. So I personally think that this mod is must have for anyone, because I know it may not be a huge game changer, but it is certainly something you must have in your game, because if you're aiming for immersion and kind of realistic feel of the game, because not being able to put stuff in a barrel that is clearly empty and has a top cut off of it is just weird. Same also applying to couches and all the other stuff I already mentioned. It doesn't even require anything, it doesn't add any script, so you can just uninstall it anytime, and I definitely liked it and recommend it. Second mod I have for is called Pip-Phone 3000 by Tostikaas. This mod adds a sort of utility or an application for a Pip-Boy that allows you to talk to people you already met anytime you want. So first let's take a look at how it works. So for a name to be added to your list on a Pip-Phone, you first need to talk to them. Whenever you talk to somebody, they'll be automatically added to your Pip-Phone. Then you can equip it in a barrel section of your Pip-Boy, and then you can check them on your list and then call them. Whenever you call them, the normal dialogue option will appear, just like if you would be talking to them in real time, and you can just trade with them, just chat with them. Even though you can also complete quests for them, but that is really not recommended because of the scripts that make us trouble, so don't try to complete quests with it, but otherwise you can just chat with them, trade, and I especially think it is useful for trading, because For example, if you are, I don't know, after a good rate, or if you loot some good place and you want to sell the stuff and you just don't want to go through like 3 or 4 loading screens to get to the vendor, you can just call them on your Pip-Phone and chat with them, so that way you don't have to kinda go to places you don't want to go and you still get all the caps you would get for trading. As you can see, whenever you pull out your Pip-Phone, there is a lot of menus you can go through, so let me just explain what each of these menu means. So the first one is favorites menu. You can add people to this one by clicking on their contact and typing add to favorites, and this is just basically a shortcut to any of your favorite contacts like traders or any person you like to speak to, or you know, mainly for traders. I personally use it for traders. Then we have the added list, you know, that's pretty self-explanatory. Same goes for the contact list, and then you also have the blacklist. So this blacklist serves as a real blacklist would do. That is that it will kind of remove a contact from your Pip-Phone, and that contact will never be added again until you will remove it from a blacklist. This is especially useful for King's members, because you know that guy that always runs up to you in free side, he will get automatically added to your contacts. Every time you will remove him without adding him to the blacklist, he will get there again. Each time he will give you some items like he always does, so it is great to add him to blacklist, because that way he won't disturb you, and you know, you have a free spot on your list. Even though the list is unlimited, there's no need for a unneeded clutter there, right? Am I right? Yes, I'm right. Anyway, like I said, this works with all the NPCs in the game, even with one from mods, and there's no need for any compatibility patches. Only thing that this mod requires is New Vegas script extender, and I have to say there are still sometimes few bugs in this mod, even though I use the newest version of New Vegas script extender, where I talked to Veronica and I wanted to kinda, you know, I just wanted to go away from the dialogue and just said goodbye. The screen with see you later just stayed there. Same thing also happened when I traded with Alexander at 1&8 trading post, so I'm not sure if that was a mistake on my side, but or if it was an occasional bug, because usually it works. And yeah, I'm not sure about that. And also there's one thing I forgot to mention, and that is list of different people. I totally forgot about that one, so let me get to that. So for example, if you talk to Doug Mitchell and you will trade with him, he will be added to the traders list, and from there on you will find him in the traders list. If you play a caravan with someone, I don't know, for example with Ringo, he will be added to caravanners list, and if you will also trade with him, even though I know you probably can't, he would be also added to traders list, so you can find him there and you don't have to go through pages of guys you already talked to, and you can just find him at the trader or caravan list whenever you feel like playing caravan or trading with him. Same also goes for followers. So for example, like you can see here, I added Veronica to my party and she was added to the followers list. So now whenever I want to speak to her, I just go to followers and speak to her. I will just call her on my Pip-Phone. This is especially useful if you have tons of followers, like more than 2 or 3, and you don't want to go separately to each one of them, for example for giving them order. You can just call them on a Pip-Phone and it will save you a lot of time. So like I said, a great mod, it saves a lot of time. Only thing I have to warn you though is don't use it for completing quests, like I said in the beginning, because it will mess up some scripts. But otherwise I think that this mod is great. It saves a lot of time and I definitely recommend it. Moving on, I've got a small but significant mod called Gun Follows Crosshair in third person by Grasscid. Just like name says, this mod will just make the gun crosshair follow you in a first person, because as you know, in vanilla game, when you looked down, the crosshair just went totally off and it did not follow your gun and it was kind of below you. With this mod on, it will just follow your crosshair, and same thing is also applied when you look up in the sky. When the crosshair went the other way, it actually went way too up in the sky, and this mod fixes it. So now it will stay directly at your target no matter where you look. It will just stay there exactly where your gun is. So like I said, a relatively small mod but very useful, and I always wondered why no one made it before, but I don't need to wonder anymore because here it is. So yeah, make sure you download the mod. It is really small mod, but I think it is really useful and important. Moving on to the armor mods, we have Chakan The Forever Man by Dragbody. You can obtain this armor and sword by picking it up in front of General's goods store in Good Springs. Now if you're a very old guy or you're a veteran or you like retro, you may possibly remember Chakan The Forever Man as a game that came out I think in 90s or 80s, and as you can guess it's a very old game. It was kind of well received, and I think it was also known for its difficulty, that it was very hard, and yeah. So if you guys remember it, then you are either really old or, I don't know, you are a real retro maniac. So now let's take a look at armor in game. There are two versions of the armor. There is full body version that will completely turn you into Chakan, and it's not really lore friendly. And there's also the second version that only contains the head, the sword, and the bodysuit that is lore friendly and looks very good. So there's basically no difference between them except that your hands and your face will be changed. Like I mentioned, this mod contains armor and also a sword. So let's first take a look at the armor. As you can see, it comes with custom model and textures. Textures look very good, and I have to say I really did enjoy them. They are high-res, lore friendly, they have a quite big amount of detail, and they certainly look very good. And if you look at the non-full body version, it looks very cool and lore friendly. I really did enjoy it, and you know, I think that the mod did a very good job. The mod also comes with a sword, the Chakan sword. It also comes with custom model and textures, and it looks just as good as the armor. It looks very good. Another thing, and one of my favorite things on this armor, is the combination of the sword and armor, because as you can see right now, if you don't have the sword equipped, you actually have two swords sheeted on your back if you will equip the sheets, and if you will equip the sword, there is only one sword in the sheets, and the second one is empty, and it is, you know, located in your hands as you got the sword. And that is what I really liked it. You know, I think it's a nice little touch by the modder, and I have to say I would love to see some more of these little details on any future armors. In combat, the sword was pretty strong. I mean, it had no problem dealing with enemies, and I will definitely be using it in the future. So overall, Chakan The Forever Man is an amazing looking and very accurate armor and weapon. Next armor I have for you is called Wasteland Opportunist armor by Zeus 2. You can find it at three places around the world. First one is in Lipton Camping Grounds, second one is in Devil's Gullet, and third one in Bighorn Saloon. Now this armor consists of two parts, headgear and the armor itself. Just like Chakan, it comes with custom model and textures. The textures look very good, they are lore friendly. As you can see, there is a lot of dirt on the armor itself. It literally looks like it is used, and it is not one of those shiny armors you sometimes see. The armor comes for both males and females, even though I think it looks kind of funny on males, kind of girly, and I personally don't really like it on males. And for females, I think it is perfect. It is perfect for some females who don't have problem getting their hands dirty or something like that, because you know it is an opportunist armor, so just from the name you should guess it. So anyhow, I really did enjoy the model and also the textures of this mod. There was really nothing to complain about. It looks good, it fits in the lore, and I really did enjoy it. Only problem you might encounter with this armor is that if you use different body mods, since the armor itself shows the arm and the hands, you may get some clipping if you use kind of any weird body mod that changes hands and arms, so just make sure you watch out for that. And mod will also not be reworking it for any body armor, so you just have to decide if it clips. And I would personally go with the armor because, you know, it is really good, and I was personally using the vanilla body for males and the type 6 body for females, and it worked perfectly, so you can just get those if you want to. Overall, Mata did a very good job. Armor looks very good, it is lore friendly, and also it is for both males and females, which is always a plus. So yeah, make sure you check it out and download it. And the last mod I have for you is a very interesting weapon called the Thunderpipe by SunnyDelight. You can obtain it at the usual place in Doug Mitchell's house on his double bed. Anyhow, let's take a look at the weapon itself. As you can see, it is a very special weapon. It is based off Turkish Ottoman Empire blunderbuss, and it is unique because just look at it. It looks really unique, and it also only shoots one bullet per shot, just like an old gun from 18th and 19th century. So yeah, let's take a look at it. As you can see, it comes with custom model and textures. The model looks very unique. It is, I wouldn't really say it is based off any real life gun if I did not read that in the description, because it looks really unique. I especially love the pattern of the texture on the barrel itself, and also like the wooden texture, they really fit in and just make the gun look a lot better. I also really like the top of it, you know, that thing that's right up there. I really did enjoy it because, you know, it kind of sticks out of the model and it just makes the gun look a little bit more unique. Now another special thing this weapon features is that whenever it shoots, it has its own animation and also own smoke effects that was created by VGSN, I think, at least he's credited right there, and as you can see, it looks really good. It just makes the gun even more unique than it is, and I really did enjoy it, especially in the firefight. And speaking of firefight, in combat this weapon is very effective, even though it may look underpowered because of one bullet. It is an instant kill no matter on who you shoot. I think I shot it on the Marcus, probably the strongest super mutant in the game, and he still got one shot killed. So I think it's a little bit overpowered. It could use some tweaking, and it is even effective at long range, and yeah, it is kinda overpowered, but other than that, this gun looks really amazing. It has its own custom textures, custom mouth, custom kinda, you know, mechanism, with it only having one bullet in a magazine. I know it doesn't have a magazine, but I don't know how to call it, and it also has its own custom smoke effects whenever it shoots. And I'm really surprised why it doesn't have more endorsements, and you should go ahead and download it, endorse it, and, you know, just type some nice words for modders while you're doing it, because, you know, that's what encourages the modders. So anyhow, like I said, a very good gun, great looking, unique, and I definitely recommend it. And the last thing I wanted to say is thank you guys for 2,000 subscribers. I just reached them yesterday, I think. Depends on when I will put out this video, and I would love to thank all of you guys. It really means a lot to me. I mean, I reached the 2,000 subscribers in like 5 months, I think, or 6 months, and I was 2 months inactive, so you could basically say I earned 1,000 subs in like 3 months, which is, I think, amazing. And I'm just very grateful for all of you. I would really love to thank you for your support, for subscribing, for liking, for favoriting, for giving me your feedback, and, you know, just being amazing just like you are. And yeah, and I would love to keep this up because, you know, YouTube is real fun. I just started to like it again, and I'm having fun. So yeah guys, thank you again, and I guess that's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Tell me what you think about it in the comments, subscribe for more Fallout, Skyrim and Titanfall content, and I will see you next time.